Howdy, folks. I'm Melanie, the marauding manta ray.
I'm Amber.
And here's some more marauders. Or Reddit. Not sure which. Guess we're gonna have to find out. If we flip to the next page and there's suddenly marauders here, we'll know the answer. Fortunately for our viewers at home, and for my sake, and Amber's sake, it's more Reddit. Our first letter, very horrifying letter, is titled, "Am I a jerk for insisting that my daughters participate in our traditional beauty pageant?" So every year for the past decade, we've been doing a family trip to Disney World. One of our traditions is that my two daughters, now 14 and 12, dress up as Disney princesses, and we have a little beauty contest, all in good fun, or so I thought. The past few years, my eldest has been going through puberty. It's been a rough time on her. She's always been a little less traditionally pretty than her younger sister, her words not mine, and the hormonal changes haven't helped with her self-esteem. Last year, she didn't seem enthusiastic about the contest, but she still participated. This year, she flat out refused to do the Disney Princess contest. She says that it makes her feel ugly and insecure, especially because her sister usually wins. She also says that she's too old for it, and it's not fun for her anymore. Now, I don't want to make her do something that she doesn't want to do, but it's a family tradition. And her sister still enjoys it. Plus, it's meant to just be fun, silly, and not something to be taken seriously. I've tried explaining this to her, but she just gets upset and tells me that I don't understand. My wife is on my daughter's side and suggesting that we should let her opt out of or change the tradition to something less beauty focused. I think it's just a phase that my eldest is going through, and she'll come around eventually. I've been getting a lot of flack from my wife and a few friends that I've told about this situation. They think that I'm being insensitive, and that I should respect my daughter's feelings. I think that I'm just trying to maintain a harmless family tradition. All right, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. This is not a harmless family tradition. And just for the record, if your traditions hurt people, they're not good traditions. Your daughter is suffering severe self-esteem issues, and this tradition is only making that worse. Like, maybe if you had done this and like the girls always tied, or you alternated every year who won, like it could have been kind of a fun, jokey thing. But either the youngest is your golden child, or you sincerely think that she's more attractive and it's okay to publicly declare that year after year.
Yeah, I mean, there's some really creepy elements here. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of creepy how they're doing this beauty pageant. I could understand if it was just like here, let's dress up as Disney princesses and have like a little party or something like that. And then that might be like a fun time for them to celebrate Disney and feel like they're included and not being made the butt end of a bad joke or something like that, right?
Well, and that's a big part of Disney for a lot of families is dressing up. Like, you can do family group costumes. Now, for over a certain age, you have to do more like bounder type things. So like you can't wear a full-on costume, but you can still dress in like a character's color scheme. Yeah. It can be a really cool, fun thing to do.
Yeah. And I just feel like they've missed the point here. And OP's asking, is this, it's just saying, oh, this is harmless. This is not hurting anybody. But it's literally hurting his daughter, and she's tried to explain this to him, but he refused to listen. So he's just dismissing her at every turn here.
OP, I want you to think long and hard. Why are you so invested in pitting your daughters against each other in conventional beauty standards?
Yeah, I mean, again, like, your daughter had to have gotten these ideas somewhere, and you're like, oh, these are her words and not mine. But think about where she got those words from. How many years of reinforcement has she been subjected to where she doesn't feel that she's traditionally pretty anymore because of your careless idea of a good time, right? So you really, I think, have done your daughter a disservice here. I don't think what you did was very good. And I mean, certainly you can't turn back the clock and change things, but therapy, therapy. I guess if you're rich enough to go to Disney every year, you're probably rich enough to afford therapy for your children as well. So maybe take some time and invest in that. And apologize to your daughter. Listen to her. Don't dismiss her feelings when she tells you something. And everyone, listen to all your friends and family, because they are pretty well trying to set you on the right course, and you're just dismissing them as well. So sometimes it's really hard to accept when we've done something wrong and hurtful to other people, and our immediate reaction is to reject that and be like, no, I didn't do that. I didn't hurt somebody, right? But you don't get to make that decision. You don't get to decide whether or not you've hurt somebody, and that's really on them. So
yeah,
the best you can do is apologize and try to make it up to them.
Exactly. And your daughter is going through a tough time. Puberty is rough for a lot of people. You don't need to be making it worse. In your household, it should be a place where she feels unjudged, and you're doing the opposite of that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Smalls427 says, this can't be real. I hope it isn't real. You're the jerk. I don't even think I need to say why. Wow. And Just a Shy Avocado says, betting $5 that he yelled a lot when the daughter told him that she didn't want to do it anymore. Well, let's hope not. OK Register 3005 says, this is all kinds of wrong. You're the jerk. Number 1, you judge your children against each other and show obvious favoritism for the younger one. 2, your daughter is 14 and too old for this tradition. 3, your daughter has flat out told you that she doesn't want to do it. You really need to rethink your priorities. I mean, I'll disagree on the age part, because I feel that that's something that an individual needs to decide on their own, whether or not they want to do something. If she doesn't want to do it, but I don't think there's an age on dressing up.
Oh, yeah.
All right, folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for refusing to cook more for the unexpected friend that my boyfriend brought to my home after he was already late and then going to bed? I'm a 22-year-old female, and my boyfriend is a 24-year-old male, and he was supposed to come by at my house around 8 p.m. so we could eat dinner together. He didn't show up until an hour later, and when he arrived, he was with a friend. I greeted his friend and asked my boyfriend to follow me into the kitchen. I asked him why he was late and what his friend was doing here. He said that he was on his way home, and he ran into the friend, and they went to get some drinks, and when he saw the time, he invited him to eat with us. I asked why he didn't warn me before allowing him to come eat with us. He answered that he didn't think it would bother me. When I told him that I hadn't cooked enough for 3, he said that it wasn't too late for me to cook more for his friend. I refused, and I said, no, it's too late for me to cook more for your friend because it's already close to 9:30 p.m. and I have to wake up early for work tomorrow. He asked, what was his friend supposed to eat then? And I replied that he could either cook for his friend or give him my plate. And then I went to bed after saying a quick goodbye to his friend. I heard the front door open and then shut minutes later, and then I fell asleep. When I woke up, I had received a couple of texts from my boyfriend saying that my behavior yesterday was very rude, that his friend had felt unwelcome, and me being mad at him wasn't an excuse for the way that I had treated his friend. I didn't reply, but now I feel guilty because I didn't want to make his friend feel unwelcome. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but I think it's time for a new boyfriend. This man does not respect you in the least bit. He didn't give any consideration to the fact that people oftentimes make only enough food for a meal. Like, he didn't think to give you a heads up. He didn't think to check if it was okay to bring someone else into your place. It doesn't sound like you live together.
Yeah, no, they do not live together, by the way. That's in the comments.
Like, it's baffling how, and now he's like upset at you because you wouldn't just like drop everything at 9:30 at night to make extra food for his friend and cater to him and make sure he felt ultra welcome.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of issues here. He could have texted you at any point in time. It only takes a minute to text somebody and be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm running late. I have a friend who I met up with and we're gonna go grab some drinks, right? That would have been maybe a little bit better of a situation. I mean, it still would have felt like flaky, honestly, because if you've committed to doing something, then you should commit to doing it and not flake out on somebody or arrive like an hour late.
Yeah, well, that shows a clear disregard for OP's time and effort, and like she's less important than catching drinks with his friend.
Yeah, and so I can certainly understand his interest and enthusiasm with meeting up a friend, especially if it's a friend they haven't seen in a long time. And maybe giving a phone call or talking about it would have been a good way to approach that. But he didn't do that. He just outright, came over late, an hour late, demanded that you cook extra food when you're trying to go to bed, and then is like throwing a temper tantrum at you and claiming that you're the one who's acting immature, when in reality, it's him. It was him all along. He's the one acting immature.
And always put your needs, push off your needs. He didn't concern about your needs at all throughout any of this. He was so concerned about his friend feeling welcome. He didn't care that you have to be at work early. He didn't care about imposing on your time. He didn't care about your schedule at all. It was just consistent. It's a consistent disregard for you and your efforts and your time.
Exactly. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Capo explains, not the jerk, I'm assuming that you don't live together and eat together every night, but rather this was a once-in-a-while thing. So basically you had planned a date night with your boyfriend, and your boyfriend showed up late, drunk, with a friend, and demanded that you get back in the kitchen and cook his friend dinner too. Completely ridiculous. I feel a little bad for the friend, as I don't think that he did anything wrong here, and I'm sure that he did feel unwelcome. But him feeling unwelcome is 100% on your boyfriend. He caused that situation, not you. And OP replies, we do not live together, but my boyfriend is often at my place to eat after work, but it's usually just takeout and not dinners made by myself. Phoebe says, not the jerk, but maybe reach out to the friend and explain the situation. I'm sure your boyfriend didn't explain it very well. And OP replies, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't have his number though, so I'll try to find him on social media. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for still expecting half of the rent to be paid? I have been with my partner for 2 years, and we have lived together for just over a year. Over the last month or so, I have started realizing that I'm not happy in the relationship. A lot of the effort seems to be one-sided. I've tried to talk to my partner about it, and she gets offensive instead of actually listening to what I'm trying to say. It's not a decision that I made lightly, but I ended the relationship. I told her my reasons, and it was pretty amicable, as I believe deep down that she felt the same. I do love her, and I wish her the best and everything, but I don't want to be in a relationship with her. The issue came when we started discussing living arrangements. I have no family or friends nearby that I could stay with, and we have 4.5 months left on the lease. I'm down as the lead tenant, so the rent comes out of my bank each month, and my girlfriend transfers it to me. All of the bills are in my name. I told my girlfriend that I was happy to take the couch for now, and then look at getting a little bed for the spare room since the apartment is both of our homes. She said that she would probably just move back home with her parents, but then she would not be paying the rent and bills when she moves out. I told her that while she might not be living here, she's still on the lease, so she still has to pay her half. I said that I would pay 75% of the utilities to make it fairer, but I can't afford the full place on my own. She said that she's not going to be paying for somewhere that she doesn't live, but I tried explaining that's not how leases work. She again just said that she won't be paying and called me a jerk for pushing the issue. Am I the jerk for expecting her to pay her half of the rent? Edit, just to clarify, my girlfriend's name is on the lease. I'm just the lead tenant, so it's my bank the rent comes out of. Edit 2, I just realized the utility was supposed to say 75 to 100%, not just 75%. Alright folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. You can't expect someone to pay for a place they're not living at. You would be the one solely benefiting from this. So, you can get a roommate to help you with the rent issue, but you can't keep expecting her to pay for a place she's not able to use.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a complicated situation. I think that there is a opportunity here for OP and her to have a conversation about breaking the lease together and him finding a new apartment if that is going to be beneficial to both of them. That way he doesn't feel like he has to pay the extra rent. They both would pay the termination fee, and then that would be that, right? It could be a nice clean breakup. And I understand that's going to be a lot of work to put into this, but it also sounds like OP was the one who initiated this breakup too. So in a lot of ways, it seems like he didn't really think ahead when it came to something like the division of how the house would be set up. And, you know, again, it just kind of shows that there may have been some deeper communication issues in this relationship from the start, because it seems like they didn't even communicate very well about what their expectations for when they would break up would be. If he is going to be the person who's solely living there, I think that she's welcome to say, look, I'm going to pay my half of the termination fee, whatever that is, and I'm going to get my name taken off the lease. And it's a little odd that he's saying that she should pay 25% of the utilities for a place she isn't living.
Oh, but only up to 25% of the utilities.
Yeah, it feels more like an afterthought, to be quite honest. I'm not sure I buy that. I think that probably what happened is they got yelled at in the comments being like, why is she paying 25% when she's not living there?
Yeah, like literally not using the utilities at all. You can't break up with someone, have them move out, and just expect everything to go on like, oh yeah, you're just going to keep funneling me all your money because I can't afford this. Like, this is one of those things you have to think about. And I'm not saying that breaking up was a bad thing to do. If you're unhappy in a relationship, then it's probably best to end it. But you have to think logistically. What am I going to do if this person doesn't want to live here anymore and isn't contributing to the rent?
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for potentially uncomfortable choices like getting a roommate.
Yeah. And certainly it's unfortunate that there's only 4.5 months left on the lease, but maybe you should have talked about breaking off the relationship in 4.5 months and being like, listen, I'm not happy. Maybe we should try to solve our problems between now and 4.5 months. And if things don't work out, we break the lease at that point in time and we move on, right? And I think putting a time frame on things would have been healthy and probably fine. Maybe it would have made things a little awkward for the extended breakup. But I think a lot of people do similar things like that, right? So I just feel very short-sighted on his part that he thought that she was just going to acquiesce and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to live here. I'm just going to continue to live in this house with somebody who I'm broken up with. Sometimes that works. Sometimes people are able to do that. Sometimes people aren't. And what you're asking is a lot of her. And again, you're not giving her a fair way of getting out of this situation. Like, she shouldn't have to financially suffer. But I feel bad that OP would also financially suffer, so. I
feel like it's kind of a situation of his own making, though. So I don't really feel as bad for him.
I mean, I understand that, but I do feel like that there's some nuance there, and that it's a unfortunate situation. I don't think that you should stay in a relationship that you're unhappy with, and there's always going to be some kind of fallout because of that. And maybe he should have planned a little bit better for what it meant to have the end of the relationship. But yeah,
no nuance, only judgment. I'm just kidding, folks.
All right, folks, let me know what you think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Initial Confusion 48 says, you're the jerk. You cannot break up with someone and expect them to continue living with you if they have other options. That's incredibly insensitive to their feelings. When they move out, because you have created the situation where they have to, it's incredibly jerkish to expect them to continue to pay rent. It's on you to find someone else to rent your spare room and cover it. Genuinely cannot comprehend that you did not realize this at the outset. And OP replies, so you think it's fine to break the lease then? I did think of it, but I wasn't going to string her along for 4 months since that's just cruel, to be honest. I mean, I think it's perfectly fine to break the lease now, right? Like, they can break the lease. You're going to pay a penalty for it, but break that lease if you can't afford to live there. That's a viable option. And AdAware 5602, you thought it was going to be fine to break a relationship. Why is it not fine to break a lease? And OP replies, I ended a relationship because I wasn't happy. A lease is a contract, so they're hardly comparable. I didn't sign a contract to be in a relationship for a set period of time. I think OP's just very confused about what a lease is. Well, you're not going to get sued for it.
I think OP is just trying to cling to this legal terminology because he can't afford the rent on his own. He doesn't have anywhere else to go, so he doesn't want to break the lease. Like, he wants the place for these next 4.5 months, but just her subsidizing it. And so I think that's what's going on here, is he's just trying to, like, Because you absolutely can break a lease.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just pay a penalty.
Yeah, I mean, that's in the lease itself. It's a contract, and part of that contract is how you break that contract. And an amicable way to break that contract, it's just a financial penalty a lot of times. Oftentimes, you don't even have to break it. I mean, you won't have to pay anything. It'll just be your first or last month's rent, right? So
Yeah.
it won't be anything extra. So it just seems very flimsy that his excuse at this point in time.
Yeah.
It's a contract. I can't break a contract.
You
Yes,
can,
you can.
but that means you have to find somewhere else to live, OP. And like, this is where the situation is like, clearly he's just trying to get it to benefit him.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little bit like that. He's being very hard-headed about this. It's a contract. I can't break a contract. Nala and Buddy says, you ended a relationship because you weren't happy. She's ending a lease because she's unhappy. And OP replies, except it doesn't work like that. A relationship isn't a contract. A lease is.
A relationship is sort of a contract, though. It doesn't count. You don't have to sign anything, but you're still making commitments to one another.
Yeah, yeah. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber's got a joke.
What invention lets you look right through a wall?
Well, I'll tell you what invention lets you look right through a wall. Bernard the Unhinged lets you look right through a wall, because Bernard the Unhinged, with his sledgehammer, will make sure that you can look through any wall that you want to. Guaranteed. He pays, you pay, he plays.
A window.
A window? Not when Bernard the Unhinged is around. He will break that window. He's unhinged. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Happy Friday. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the week. I did too, of sorts. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe this is a hologram. Amber, we need some kind of moral. And please, have it in the form of an artist who is infuriated with their artwork.
Ah, these colors are just, they're, why on earth did anyone think this is, okay. Well, you know what? My art isn't so bad when you look at this dad who's pitting his daughters against each other. So, you know, we'll focus on that instead. This is what's really bad. My art, we'll just shove it over here. And, yeah, don't do that. Don't pit your daughters against each other in beauty pageants. That's what's important.
I guess so. I was envisioning you being an artist who is mad about a portrait that you drew of two people who were two kids being pitted against each other in a Disney princess off. That's a new term. We're using it. So, yeah, same thing. I was thinking it was going there. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.